Hello, Doug here. Welcome back to yet another board game channel and yet another couple of turns of Sentinels of the Multiverse as our heroic trio try to prevent Omnitron from rampaging through the streets of Megalopolis. Let's see where we stand. Omnitron, we've got him down to 48 hit points. So, slightly more than halfway there. The Wraith is at 21 hit points, which is Visionary and the Naturalist have both dropped below 20 hit points, so a little worried about that, but well, we'll do what we can. Yeah, Visionary is at 18, the Naturalist is at 19. This is going to be, first turn is going to be tricky because we have yet another hostage situation. So we can't play any cards, which makes it rather difficult to make progress. Fortunately, at least the Wraith has a boatload of equipment out. Hopefully that will do well enough. So let's just get right to it with, yeah, go to the villain phase, and Omnitron gets his turn. Right, Omnitron, right, who is also is dealing one less damage per attack at the moment because of the Wraith's stun bolt. That'll go away at the beginning of the Wraith's turn. We do also still have Twist the Ether attached to him, which allows the Vision to alter his damage, reducing it. Beginning of the villain turn, as always, Omnitron flips to his self-aware robotics factory side. Then we play a card. Oh dear. Forgotten this was in there. The Electropulse Explosive, which is a device at the start of the villain turn. This card deals each hero X lightning damage, where X equals the current HP of this card. And it starts with 15 HP. We're going to have to try to get rid of this as fast as possible. And we have a quote from the Wraith. Wait, I thought we already got rid of that bomb. If only. Oh boy. We could get hammered with that. Okay, well, we won't be attacking Omnitron too much this turn. We will be focusing on the Electropulse. Right, end of turn, when he's in Robotics Factory mode, we shuffle its trash, and then put into play the first device or component that we find. So let's turn it over. Here we are. Device. We're going to get an assault drone, the one that deals the target with hero target with the highest HP. In this case, 2 damage. Number of drones plus 1. It will be the only drone. So we'll give that 4 hit points. Right, it's the end of the turn, so the assault drone does activate. So highest is going to be the Wraith. Going to do 2 damage to her. Let's get rid of that. 6, 7, 8. Knocking her below 20. This is worrying. Alright, that is it for Omnitron. Like it wasn't enough. Okay, let's see what the Wraith can do. Okay, we got the Wraith and Omnitron both in shot. Right, the stun bolt wears off, so Omnitron's damage is not reduced from it anymore. That's the only start of turn effect we got. next step would be play cards, but because of the hostage situation, we need to be careful and can't. Alright. So, right, she, onto the power phase, she still has the utility belt, so she still gets to do 2 powers. And yes, we will be hammering the Electropulse explosive, because that is absolutely vital. Alright, first things first, the Razor Ordnance, which does 3 plus 2 from the micro-targeting computer, plus another 1 thanks to the Visionary altering rates damage. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Alright, let's knock that down. Okay, we've already knocked the pulse down to 9. This is good. Then, for her second power, we're going to use the Stun Bolt, which does 1 damage, increased by 2 for the targeting computer, and 1 more for Twist the Ether. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And, because it got hit by the Stun Bolt, it will do 1 less damage if it does get to attack us. Hopefully not. Right, that is it for power phase. Then we pick another card, and we got another copy of the Stun Bolt. So that goes into our hand, and no end of turn effects, so that will be it for the Wraith. On to the Visionary. Now, the Visionary, unfortunately, is going to get to do very little this turn. Because of the hostage situation. She has no start of turn effects. She can't play one of these lovely attack cards that we've been picking up. So it'll be time for her to use her power. Her Enlighten. One player draws 2 cards and discards 1. Let me just have a look and see. Alright, we'll have her use it on herself again. So, the 2 she picks up. Right, we saw Rest of the Mind earlier. Put the card next to a target, other than a character card. Whatever that target deals damage, you may redirect that damage to another target. If you do, Visionary deals this card's target and herself 3 psychic damage each. Now we have, she's also picked up Precognition, which a one-shot allows her to look at the top 3 cards of the villain deck, put 1 on top and 2 on the bottom. And we have a little bit of narration. Even with the current crisis averted, the Visionary's mind was quickly filled with terrible visions of a possible future. Now we need to discard 1. I think I'm going to get rid of the Foresight. We're least likely to use that. It's not a bad card, but the others are better. No end of turn effects, so we're done with the Visionary. Now on to the Naturalist. Alright, the Naturalist, again, we don't have any start of turn effects. Can't play any cards, so it's on to the power stage. So, we're going to have him use, in his deadly crocodile form, we're going to attack 1 target for 2 melee damage, plus 1, because he just gets plus 1 on all attacks, being in crocodile form. So, off screen here, or off camera, I will be removing, removing 3 HP. We got the Electropulse explosive down to just 2 hit points. So it's not going to hurt us too much, and it's got the Stun Bolt effect, so it will only be hitting us for 1 each. So, Huzzah. Right, that leaves picking a card. What have we got this time? Hyperactive Senses. One shot. Reveal the top 2 cards of any 2 decks. Put them back on top of their decks in any order. And if he's in Gazelle form, you may discard the top card of any 2 decks. We have another quote from the Argent Adept. Pierce the veil in your mind. See clearly what is true. No end of turn effects for the Naturalist. So that concludes the heroes, and we move on to the environment phase. Okay, here we are. Start of turn effect. We get to try to get rid of the hostage situation. Each player may discard 1 card to destroy this card, and boy are we going to do that. Let's get rid of, let's see, first of all the Wraith. Well, she's already got a utility belt on, which is a limited card, so we will discard that. The Visionary, I'm going to get rid of Rest the Mind while it's handy. I don't want her suffering 3 psychic damage every time she decides to use it. And the Naturalist. Let us... yeah, they're all good. We'll get rid of Indomitable Force for now, because I think I want to leave him in his crocodile form for a little bit. Alright, we have all discarded one, so hostage situation goes away. Thank goodness. Now Megalopolis plays its next card. Oh good, it's Impending Casualty again. The start of the environment turn, each hero may destroy 1 of their ongoing cards, and if they don't, they get 3 psychic damage. So, at the end of the environment turn, let's just do this right away. We're going into the end. 1 player may discard 1 card to destroy this card. We'll have the Wraith discard something again because she has so many cards in her hand. This is another limited one, the Smoke Bombs, which she already has in. She can't have 2 of them in play, so let's just get rid of that one. And lose the Impending Casualties. Also at the end of the turn, the police back up, kick in, and shoot Omnitron for a single point of damage. So, you got hurt a tiny bit while we paid attention to everything else that was going on. Alright, let's go into another turn and back to Omnitron again. Okay, Omnitron's start of turn effects. Well, he flips over, becomes a rampaging robot. And now the Electro Pulse Explosive kicks in. At the start of the villain turn, it deals each hero X lightning damage, where X is the current HP of the card. Current HP is, we knocked it down to 2. And because the stun bolt is still knocking it down by 1, it's going to do a single point of damage to each of our heroes. Just remove those off camera. Alright, here we go. Yeah, up next we'll be playing a card. The Adaptive Plating Subroutine. It's an ongoing card. After Omnitron is dealt damage, Omnitron becomes immune to that type of damage. Whenever they're dealt a different type of damage, its immunity changes to that type. So you can't get hit by the same type of damage twice in a row. It just won't do any good the second time. Oh, and our quote is from Ra, the sun god, who says, "Not this again." I wholeheartedly agree. Alright, end of turn effects. Well, the assault drone is going to do 2 damage to the hero target with the highest HP, who is currently, let's see, 15, 16, 17, 18, 17, 15, 16, okay, we have a tie between the Wraith and the Naturalist. Going to have it do the Naturalist because he has blend into the pack. The first time he would take damage each turn, reduce that damage. Oh wait, reduce that damage by the number of environment targets in play. He didn't actually get hurt that from the Electro Pulse, because he should have gotten -1 damage because there is a single environment card out, which means he would have been at 19, which means he gets hit by the assault drone because he was then definitely highest. So we're going to take away one more for him. All right, that wraps up Omnitron. Let's see what the Wraith can do next. All right, the Wraith does not have any start of turn effects. So next up we'll be playing a card. I'm going to play the Throat Jab. Deal one target 2 melee damage. I am going to use this on Omnitron because she will next attack with projectile damage. So they'll both work because they'll become immune to melee, and then we can hammer him with a single projectile attack. And the target dealt damage this way cannot deal damage until the start of your next turn. So if he decides to attack, we're okay. Right. So 3. However, it'll be 2 melee damage. It will be 3 because the Visionary will use Twist the Ether to increase the damage. 5, 6, 7. There we go. We're getting there. And let me see. Don't think I have a little token that says he can't deal damage. Pretty sure I'll remember it. All right. Now on to power phase. Get to use 2. Again, we'll be doing the Razor Ordnance against Omnitron. He's currently immune to melee, so the projectile gets through. And I need to back up for a moment because I just realized that earlier, when Omnitron hit the Wraith, her combat stance would have automatically fought back and done 2 melee damage at that point. It won't negate, he wouldn't have been immune to it at that point because we had not yet drawn the card. Oh wait, except Omnitron, getting this mixed up. Omnitron wouldn't have been the one doing the damage. It was, okay, when the Electro Pulse hit the Wraith, she should have hit it back enough to take it out. Which means that the other two did not take the 2 points of damage each, or the 1 point of damage each. So, just going to put a point back on the other two. We got that straight? Okay, we got it straight. Right, where was I? Powers, Razor Ordnance, 3 plus 2 plus 1. So we're going to do 6 against Omnitron, who now becomes immune to projectile damage. Which means for our second power, the Stun Bolt, we will just use that against the Assault Drone instead, because we do need to deal with it. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, and 4 with Twist the Ether, which means she gets to take down the drone entirely. Alright, I think I got that all figured out. Now we will pick a card, and we got another copy of Throwing Knives, and that will conclude the Wraith's turn. Back to the Visionary again. Alright, the Visionary has no cards active. Well, the Twist the Ethers, but they don't have a start of turn effect. So it's time to play a card. Going to do the Mind Spike. Visionary deals 1 target, 3 psychic damage. And yes, we'll do that to Omnitron. So Omnitron is now immune to Psychic, which is fine because nobody else can do Psychic. Right, that's the card, the Play Hero card. Now she will be using a power, using her Enlighten to let one hero draw 2 cards and discard 1. Let's do the Naturalist, just to see what we can see. So we draw 2. Oh, another copy of Blend into the Pack, and Cornered Beast is back. We need to discard 1. Well, we can only have 1 copy of Blend into the Pack in play at a time, so that will be the card we discard. And that concludes the Visionary's turn. Now back to the Naturalist. Right, no start of turn effects for the Naturalist. We're into play cards. Let's put Cornered Beast into play. We'll give him an extra power, destroy a target with 3 or fewer HP, which could happen with all our little devices popping up. And, while in crocodile form, if there are more non-hero targets than hero targets, increase damage dealt by the Naturalist by 1. I'm not sure how likely that is to happen, but you never know. So we'll put that into play. Then we will use a power. That'll be Steadily Crocodile form. Deal 1 target 2 melee damage, increased to 3. And we'll do that to Omnitron. 7. We have him down to 32. This is good. We're nearly there. Then we will draw another card. Ooh, the Predator's Eye. It's rather fearsome looking. It's a 1-shot. Increase damage dealt to 1 target by 1 until the start of your turn. In crocodile form, you may draw up to 2 cards. The Naturalist deals 1 target X melee damage, where X equals 3 minus the number of cards drawn this way. Okay, and the Naturalist has a quote here: "The hunter will be hunted, but will he realize in time that he is now the prey?" Yeah, that's pretty spiffy. And that's end of turn. Nothing else happening there. So one final look at Megalopolis before we call this an episode. Okay, nothing happens at the start. So we draw a card. The Plummeting Monorail, which has 10 hit points. You can see its keyword is train. Pretty sure it's the only card in the entire game, all expansions included, that actually has the keyword train. At the start of the environment turn, which we are past, this card deals the 2 targets with the highest HP 5 melee damage each. That can get bad if we happen to be the targets with the highest HP. And some flavor text. Look out, Legacy shouted, flying as fast as he could to stop the train before it crushed those in its path. Well, unfortunately, he's not here. So, we're going to put 10 hit points on that, so we can try to destroy the train before it actually falls on our heads. End of turn effect will be the police backup doing its 1 projectile damage. To the villain target with the highest HP, which of course is Omnitron. So we're going to take 1 away. That's a little bit of a problem because he's now immune to projectile damage, which is all that the Wraith is going to do next turn. Well, that sucks. Well, we'll just have to work around it. Let's zoom out for the end of the episode. Okay, well, there it is. Another couple of turns down. We're at... Omnitron is down to 31 HP. We're getting there. All of our heroes have 18 hit points. Kind of a coincidence. We have a plummeting monorail to deal with. And Omnitron is immune to projectiles. Just have to remember all that for the beginning of the next turn, which I hope you'll join me for. Thanks everybody for all the views, and thanks for likes and subscriptions, and all the comments. It's very much appreciated. And we will see you next time for yet another episode of Sentinels of the Multiverse. See you then.